Let's do this! Atheist Nomads, episode 328.
Oh God, we really don't want to do this tonight, but don't have a choice.
And I'll come up with the title at some point.
The podcast you're about to listen to includes cursing and talking about hoo-haws. Please be advised.
Welcome to another episode of Atheist Nomads. I am Dustin, and joining me is Lauren.
Hello!
We were going to have Justin with us, but he had an emergency come up and wasn't able to join us, so here we are. And Kylie is still up right now with us, so, well, let's see how this goes. I will be launching the new podcast that I've hinted about with the kind of the spinoff from Dustin Off the Degree. I'm shooting for a January launch at this point.
All right.
So
he's been waffling on this for months, and
Yeah.
I finally told him just to do it, just to start the sketches, start outlining, start with the work, because he's one of those guys that he's not relaxing until he's working. So,
and it's going to be a lot of fun. All I'm going to say so far is it's going to be covering religious history.
Yep.
And then shoot for next month doing the big announcement.
Okay.
Yeah. And I was on Atheist in the Trailer Park.
Nice.
Yeah.
We're in a duplex, so we're not quite there, but we're almost there.
But yeah. Tucker had me on to help out since he's with the whole reading through by the scriptures, got to some Gnostic stuff and had a lot of questions about Gnostics. And it was either going to be me or Bob Price, and he didn't want to get stuck dealing with Bob Price's Trump support, so he had me.
Yay!
Which was a lot of fun since I really did enjoy doing that class when I was in the seminary. It was one of my favorites.
You had to be the only one.
Yeah.
Even the professor was like, crap. I'm actually going to have to teach it now. Somebody's paying attention and is asking questions.
Well, it was a seminar, so the professor wasn't really teaching it. We all taught it. All right, so are you ready for news?
I am ready.
All right, so Joe Biden, who is, former vice president, he was a senator for almost forever.
That guy that's been in the news constantly.
Yeah. So
Uncle Joe.
He was in South Carolina recently while he's campaigning for president. In South Carolina, it makes sense that he'd be down there since that is one of the biggest early Democratic primaries.
Yeah.
Especially since that's where most of the voters are African American.
Okay.
So if you want to be able to prove how you're going to do with minorities, if you can win that one and Nevada, where a big chunk of the voters are Latino, yeah, you get those.
In Nevada?
Yeah.
But there's nobody in Nevada, even if they are mostly Latino.
Doesn't matter. There's nobody in Iowa.
That's true.
Or New Hampshire. These are just the early states, not the good states.
So fucked up. Right? Don't get me started. Ugh.
Yeah. Anyway, so while he was in South Carolina, because he is Catholic, he did go to a Catholic mass, and well,
hilarity ensued.
The priest refused to give him communion because he supports abortion rights.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's not good for his campaign. Or is it good for his campaign? I don't know. I think it's okay, but it also makes me wonder, why on earth are you taking communion at a Catholic church if I don't know.
Well, okay, so if you look at the history on it, abortion wasn't a political issue until evangelical Christians decided they gave a shit about abortion.
Right.
In the 1980s. Up until that point, it was just a Catholic issue, and it wasn't really all that political of an issue. Democrats...
Heck, it was political suicide to be Catholic.
And at that time, yeah, it totally was. JFK was up to that point, the only Catholic to be president. Until pretty recently, most Catholics were Democrats. And at this point, I believe Catholics are only slightly more likely to be Republican than Democrat. It's one of those long-term things where you go back not that long ago, and most serious Christians were Democrats because they were the ones that cared about the poor.
Aww.
Now it's the 21st century, and that means Christians don't care about the poor.
Yeah. Ouch.
Leave that to the atheists and the Jews and the Unitarians. Those are the people who care about the poor.
Literally everybody else.
Yeah. So the priest that the Reverend Robert Morey did provide a statement to the media about refusing Biden communion.
Yeah, he set that up to be a press.
Oh yeah.
Field day.
And that it was, he made that decision based on Biden's support of abortion rights, which the church cannot condone by way of sacrament.
No, it's bullshit anyway.
It is.
But this is a whole new level of political bullshit.
Same thing happened to John Kerry. So, not new.
Yeah.
I think it happened to one of the candidates early on in the 2016 cycle. It happens all the time.
This is just the latest one.
Heck, I think it happened to John Kerry when he was Secretary of State.
Probably.
Ahead of the House's near party line vote to open official, absolutely 100% due process, this is actually a thing, impeachment proceedings, despite the fact that courts kept on saying they don't need to do a full vote to say that they're doing impeachment proceedings.
It's doing a vote to see if they can do a vote. If they could do a vote. This
was a vote to tell Republicans to shut up. These are legitimate. And here's how they're going to be doing it. And, you want them to be public? Let's go ahead and just make them public.
Okay.
Shortly before that, just a couple days before that vote, evangelicals gathered in the Oval Office to lay their hands on Donald Trump and pray for him.
And the picture is hilarious because what does that look like to you? Maybe if he had a meal in front of him. The photo op is, I swear they made it to look like The Last Supper.
Oh, wow. Yeah, they're all facing in towards him.
I mean, the last bowed, one did this
right
too.
In the middle.
But and obviously it was meant to be a photo op because they have everybody perfectly lined up in such a way that their faces show. But this whole lay hands thing is, every time this pops up, I just slam my head into the table. Like, this is so stupid.
Well, and I've seen how the laying on of hands works, typically.
Don't they just touch and then just somebody says a prayer and they all agree?
A few people form a circle around the person they're all praying for, touching that person.
How about a half circle?
The person being prayed for is usually kneeling for this. Everybody is usually kneeling. And then you have just ever-growing circles around as the space permits. It's not good for a photo op because you can't see his fucking face.
And make him look like Jesus.
Donald Trump has to have his face available, so he's standing right in front of a table. Big conference table to make sure that there's plenty of going to be a nice line there for a camera shot.
Yep, because that's what he's president of. He's a celebrity president.
Oh, and it wasn't the Oval Office, it was the Roosevelt Room.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, so this had Tony Perkins from the Southern Poverty Law Center recognized hate group, the Family Research Council. This had former Congresswoman, failed political candidate, and all-around horrible person, Michelle Bachmann. Fox News contributor, anti-Muslim, anti-Catholic, and anti-Semitic Dallas megachurch pastor Robert Jeffress.
Oh, gosh. It's funny. It's like bingo. Has anybody gotten bingo yet?
Racist, homophobic,
Trump is in the middle with a free space.
Founder of Focus on the Family, Dr. James Dobson.
Yeah.
Also pro-child abuse.
It was, but yeah.
James Dobson.
I mean, I applaud the security of the White House, but I really wish... No, I don't.
I'm not
going to say it, but y'all know what I'm thinking. Just
American Values President Gary Bauer and Prosperity Gospel TV evangelist Paula White.
Yeah. How'd that do for her ratings?
Oh, you want to know? Well, thank you for setting up the perfect segue.
Oh, shit. I didn't mean to.
Paula White just got a new job.
Oh.
That's right. The one, the only, The feminine face of crazy batshit evangelical televangelism, Paula White, is now the head of the Faith and Opportunity Initiative.
Oh, so they're going to put a profit-driven Christian in charge of distributing money to people who are poor?
No, to churches.
To church.
To help people who are poor.
Yeah. That doesn't work like that. It's like a church trickle-down effect.
So this is a group that was created initially by George W. Bush.
I was going to say, this sounds George W. Bushy.
Under the name...
Because he was the last president to say that faith-based
initiatives.
Yeah, faith-based initiatives work better than secular.
Then Barack Obama kept it going, and Trump thought it was tainted by Obama, so he renamed it the Faith and Opportunity Initiative to make it clear that, not to help poor people?
Business lingo, opportunity, sounds like making money, right?
When this is supposed to be helping funnel money into religiously motivated charities, which is sketchy to begin with.
Right. No, this is just going to funnel money into the churches.
And now at the head of it is a prosperity gospel televangelist.
Well, hey, if the gospel's obviously working for her, so why won't it work for everybody else?
Well, it will work for everybody else if they give her $29.99.
Five payments of $29.99.
Oh, not just 5 payments. That's not good enough. That will only give you God's blessing for 5 months.
Oh yeah, that's
true. 5 weeks. Send easy monthly payments of $29.99 or more
to patreon.com/atheistnomads.
Yeah, Paula White.
So we need the opposite of that. We need prosperity. We need prosperity sacrilege. Pay us money and we'll commit sacrilege on your behalf.
Oh, Scathing Atheists and Cognitive Dissonance are doing that with Vulgarity for Charity.
No. This is more than that, though. They're just coming up with cool insults. This is actually like anti-religion, some kind of anti-religious work. Or, bitching on TV, which is what it really is. We could do that. You even got the voice for it. You had training.
We can't bitch on TV. We don't have access to that.
That's true. Sam.
Damn it.
No, wait. He doesn't do TV anymore.
I could get access if I wanted to, but I would have to censor myself.
That's all right. You don't have to censor sacrilege.
If it's on TV, you do.
No, not blasphemous stuff. It's just...
Oh, yeah. You just have to make sure that you...
Just say it nicely. It's not that much of a stretch. Just wait to have the beer after.
But yeah, so Paula White, she's been on Trump's super secret...
I mean, her name is even White. I mean, oh, God.
Yeah. She's been on Trump's super secret evangelical advisory board all along. And sticking with a theme here, President Trump has formalized the middle of the process to withdraw the U.S. from the Paris Climate Accords. This will all be final in a year, literally the day after the 2020 presidential election.
Yep.
Meaning, if all goes well, the U.S. will be out of the Paris agreements for about 2 months.
Yeah. And never mind the fact that half of the states in the U.S. have said that they are going to go ahead and stick with it.
So, yeah, 24 state governors plus the governor of Puerto Rico, who has resigned from his position, so maybe he doesn't count. Anyway, 24 state governors, they represent more than half of the U.S. population and a third of the U.S. economy, have decided that, yeah, they're sticking with Paris.
Well, and it doesn't matter because, I mean, if in case you haven't noticed, like every 2 weeks, you'll see major rollbacks on major EPA guidelines. Mm-hmm. Coal, water, air, it doesn't matter. They're totally just gutting the entire, anything environmentally friendly.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So not only are they denying that humans cause any kind of climate change problems, but now they're actively, just to spite, I guess, making it worse.
Yeah. Now, in addition to the states that are sticking with the climate agreement, There's also a bunch of companies, universities, nonprofits, and the like that are all also committing to sticking with the Paris Agreement anyway.
It's funny because the Paris Agreement is so... I mean, it's nothing. It's a mosquito bite when you look at all the big problems. But it's something.
It's trying to keep global warming down to 2 degrees above, I think, 1950s
catastrophic
levels. Well, it's not preventing catastrophic sea level rise. It's giving us time to prepare for the catastrophic sea level rise. Because one of the things that all of the projections don't really show is, the amount of sea level rise by 2100. Even if we cap off the temperature there, the ice will continue to melt.
Yeah.
Unless we bring the temperature back down, because if you look across big history, the default for the Earth is a hothouse with no ice caps.
Yeah.
Humans evolved in a ice age. We need an ice age to survive well. And the change that is happening is way too fast for the Earth to actually keep up with. And if you look in very big history on what happens when there is super rapid climate change, it's a mass extinction.
Yeah, everything dies.
Right.
Except for, a couple amphibians or insects or...
And this time around, the amphibians probably won't make it.
No, they're screwed.
They're toast, yeah. Usually a few smaller animals.
I say buy land in Canada and start farming.
Good luck moving to Canada.
Okay. True.
Yeah, and I've checked. My uncles are definitely eligible for Canadian citizenship because my grandma was born in Canada. But my grandma was never actually a Canadian citizen. She was a subject of His Majesty and became a U.S. citizen prior to Canadian citizenship being a thing. And based on my reading of the laws, my uncles are definitely eligible. My mom is probably eligible.
Is that based on gender or
probably not.
Time of when they were born?
Timing.
Because she was the youngest, right?
No, she was the middle child.
Oh, okay.
But she was born after my grandma got U.S. citizenship.
Oh, okay. So yeah, if you're a lawyer, a Canadian lawyer, just let us know. Can we finagle this somehow?
If we had to agree to have like 15 more children and do 20 more podcasts, we could do it. No.
What?
There used to be a thing where if Canada was trying really hard to get people to have lots of babies there.
Yeah, but what does that have to do with podcasts?
To be producing stuff.
Dude, no. It's going to be farmland. Produce hemp. So much hemp and mushrooms that I'm deathly allergic to.
Why do you want to grow mushrooms so bad?
Because they can be used for so much stuff.
But you're allergic to them.
I'm deathly allergic
to them. All right, so the Tech Dirt article that I have linked to in the...
What's a Tech Dirt?
The Tech Dirt article.
Thank you.
That I have linked to in the show notes.
I wasn't being facetious. I honestly did not understand what you said.
I am not endorsing in any way by linking to it. I just want to make sure that is very clear. But Adrian Rangel is suing Twitter for $1 billion.
Yeah, you can't see him doing the Dr. Evil thing, but he's totally doing it.
He is claiming that his account was suspended in violation of his freedom of religion, freedom of speech, freedom of expression, freedom of assembly, freedom against unlawful seizure, that it violated his right to due process, violated his right to substantive due process, and violated his right to equal protection under the laws.
Oh, wow. Wow. What? It doesn't work against a private company, believe me.
Oh, he's not just suing the corporation. He is suing the Twitter Foundation.
Oh. Okay, so what did he say?
Hang them all.
Nice. Real nice.
I don't know.
Was this before or after the lynching comment that Trump made?
I'm not sure.
It would be funny if that coincided. But in case you guys haven't figured out, and I know our listeners are not a part of this group, but the people who are a part of this group, if you ever mention lynching or hanging somebody, it's gonna backfire. Because America in particular kind of has a sore spot with that.
Yeah.
It's called every minority in the country.
Jim Crow was a time period of much lynching, and
it was terrible.
Don't do it. Yeah. Don't joke about it.
Yep. Don't hang skeletons out of your trees even at Halloween, or else Dustin will complain.
Hey, I've only complained to actually, I've complained on the podcast
when
about
it was actually a skeleton being hung. I admit that was like, ooh, that's distasteful. But when it was a ghost hanging from a tree that was from fishing line that you couldn't see, I thought
the ghost had shifted by the time I saw it to being more hanging, not flying.
But there was no rope.
Yeah. Anyway, so this guy, he replied to somebody's tweet saying, "Hang them all." He shortly before this had changed his profile on Twitter with the user ID of Religiousuro
What? Okay, whatever.
Yep. Identifying as the CEO of High Tech Corp, constitutionalist, SCOTUS Quadfecta, private detective retired, born again KJV only Christian.
What's that?
King James Version.
Ew! Oh my God! Oh, that's just ignorant.
If anybody tells you they're King James only, yeah, they're fucking full of shit. Even more than the normal shit that Christians are full of.
Oh my gosh. You know, I have some respect for the people who go back to Greek, and, you know, trying to translate that shit is hard to make sense out of any of that. But to shortcut to the King James version is just lazy.
Actually, no, I don't give you any credit if you're reading the Greek for your own use. It's one thing if you're trying to use it for source material in preaching, where you're looking back at it to try to find the nuance that isn't found in the translations.
Yeah.
But one person's translation is bullshit. The good translations, and there are lots of them out there, are done by committee.
Yeah, that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
Because even a single word can have...
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So one person reading from the Greek... That's just one of the things on this profile that is crazy bullshit.
And King James, horrible translation based on crappy manuscripts. It was great for its time. They meant to do well in doing it, but it's not great by modern standards. Also, you shouldn't have to translate a translation. Which, to get King James into modern English, you do have to translate, because it would be fine. It'd be better if they were using the English of the day, but they were using archaic language even for their own time.
To make it sound old-timey?
A little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, and even made some...
Ye old Bible.
I think some of it might have even been just trying to force it to sound more...
Legit. Yeah.
By like thee and thou.
Yep.
In reference to God would have been horribly disrespectful. But by that time, thee and thou were gone.
Yeah.
The second person singular had vanished from common use. And the second person singular would have been insulting to use, especially to a superior.
Or Supreme Lord and God.
Yeah. Yeah. Like,
and that was today's dusting off the degree and or soapbox.
Yeah, so this guy...
he went to school, people.
He also... The plaintiff, and reading from the filing in court, tangentially, plaintiff contends that President Donald J. Trump was nothing short of miraculously elected by God into the presidency.
I agree.
Most
Except
specifically
for not the God
because
part.
of Donald Trump's victory in light of the tremendous media, political, and social resistance to his election to the presidency of the United States. Plaintiff used Twitter to support what plaintiff contends is Donald J. Trump's nothing short of miraculous election to the presidency. As such, plaintiffs' religious beliefs are intertwined with plaintiff support of Donald J. Trump as president of the United States.
Okay, take it to court.
Yes, this probably was in response to Trump's lynching comment.
Yeah.
Hang them all. He gets suspended for it.
And they can go to court, and he has to pay a bunch of fees, and he is going to get thrown out.
Well, especially considering the rights he is claiming to have apply to the government.
Yeah, I know. Atheists know this one. Freedom of speech does not refer to how a private corporation deals with you.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't even, not even a private person. You'll be a dick, and they will not like you, and you can stop supporting said business, but it's only when the government comes after you, starts to restrict journalism in particular, which we're seeing a lot of, by the way. That's
yeah.
But you all know that. But you're smart people.
There isn't even when it comes to a private business, you don't even have freedom of religion.
Yeah.
Now,
wait, I thought we did now because of
no. You cannot be discriminated against because of your religion.
Oh, that's right.
That is different than having the freedom to exercise your religion how you see fit.
As a person or a corporation?
For example, and this is one that I dealt with professionally. There was somebody on Halloween, this was years back, at the Plasma Center who handed a note into the hand of another donor who still had the needle in his arm that said, Jesus is real, he is God, and he loves you. The guy he handed that to was pagan.
Cue the lawsuit. No, you guys diffused it though, right?
Jewish doctor got me to intervene.
Yep.
I kept the pagan there, and I got the Christian out as quickly as possible, while he was claiming that I was violating his freedom of religion, and I had to explain to him that this is private property, this is a private business. You do not have the freedom to exercise your religion here.
Especially to a captured audience. Captive.
I also explained that to him. I don't know.
You got a needle in you. You're not just going to...
Yeah.
I'm surprised the guy didn't punch him. He couldn't.
It was about to go there, and I did not want that to happen.
Yeah.
I already had to report to the higher-ups about the altercation that happened because he mentioned talking to his lawyer friend. I didn't want to have to tell the higher-ups about a fight on my watch. But yeah, that's the story of the Christian, the Jew, the pagan, and the atheist on Halloween.
Nice.
It sucks when Christians try to assert their freedom of religion and free expression on private property. And in this case, we're talking about Twitter's privately owned servers.
Yeah.
Now, he does bring up one good point. Freedom of assembly. The laws have not kept up with the development of social media.
Right. Assembly, everybody grabbing pitchforks going down to town square is a lot different than partaking in a Twitter thread online.
And
pitchforks and flame wars.
I don't know what the correct answer to it is, but I do think that as a society, we do need to have a discussion about where social media fits in relation to the role that they're taking part as the public square for society.
Especially in regards to how the state or government can use it. Yeah, definitely.
Now, I don't expect this court to weigh in here. I don't expect any court to weigh in.
No.
The courts are going to try to wait for the government or wait for Congress to do it. I don't think that's going to happen.
And that's never going to happen. So something else. We'll be into neural networks by then. So
the U.S. House of Representatives is still working on H.R. 5.
Oh, wow. I haven't heard that in a while.
Which is the Equality Act.
House Resolution 5.
And H.R. 3570, which is...
Oh, God, these aren't numerically ordered, are they?
Yeah.
So, there was, one of the first ones.
One of the first ones of this session.
And the latest. One of the latest.
Which is the Therapeutic Fund Prevention Act. Both of these laws have wide support of LGBTQ activist organizations, as well as atheist organizations, and basically anybody else who wants people to be treated decently. This would update federal civil rights legislation to ban discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity. This would apply to employment, housing, public accommodation, jury service, education, and federal programs. The Therapeutic Fraud Prevention Act would classify conversion therapy in exchange for money as fraudulent practice.
I like that. It's bad enough that it even exists, but they can't find a way to outright ban it. So at least cut them off from money.
In response, 15 members of Church United and Changed, which are both based out of California, went to Congress to lobby on behalf of their own experiences as people who had gone through conversion therapy and now identify as formers.
Okay. Gender is fluid, but whatever.
Well, if there's a decent amount of data out there that ex-gay works for a while, but in the ex-gay community, there's a whole lot of gay stuff going on. Because you bring together a whole bunch of people that are trying to repress a certain part of them together, and they're going to find it really convenient to just do it.
Yeah.
And it just doesn't work.
Well, I mean, I can't speak for it because I don't know, but yeah, I would like to see the numbers on that, because I have a feeling that the people who went represent a very tiny, tiny minority of people who have gone through those conversion therapy.
Oh, everybody who graduates people who graduate anything like that tend to be very outspoken as long as they're able to hold to the message. It's not really any different than alcoholics who have been sober for a month or two, love to talk about how they've been sober for a month or two.
Yeah. And then it gets harder and harder and harder.
Then Christmas rolls around and
where you go to visit in-laws who will do nothing but throw beer down your gullet because they love you and want you to drink so much beer and liquor.
Yeah.
Wine.
Oh, yeah, we are doing Christmas at your parents'.
Yeah, we are.
Woohoo! All right, and we're back. It's actually the next day now.
It's been exhausting.
Yep. And some good news, though, that came about since we were recording yesterday.
Over Election Day.
Matt Bevin, who we've covered on the show, I think more than any other governor outside of Idaho.
Yeah.
He lost his re-election bid.
Yay!
Yeah, so Bevin is soon to be Kentucky's former governor. Up to this point, he is still refusing to concede.
It was close.
It was close, but not that close.
5,000 votes?
Yeah.
That's pretty substantial, but not. But
5,000 votes when all votes have been counted? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's done. Yeah, so he was backing up Kim Davis.
Roll your eyes. Kim Davis.
Yeah, he declared a year of the Bible.
Didn't she run for governor?
She ran for something.
She ran for something and got slaughtered.
He pushed for, year of the Bible. He pushed for getting more and more religion into schools and going way over the top on...
He's been at the head of the shit list for years. Yep.
And he's had also the lowest approval rating of any governor in the country.
Gee, I wonder why.
Much lower approval rating than Donald Trump even, who he absolutely adores.
That's all I can say about that.
Those two have quite the bromance going on.
Trump is a whore, so that doesn't really mean anything. But
yeah, it's nice to see he's
on his way out.
He's on his way out.
Finally.
Defeating him is the son of Bevin's predecessor.
Ouch.
Yeah, Andy Bashir. He's been serving as the attorney general, and he's now going to be governor.
We're not going to make any Star Trek jokes with that.
No.
Who
knows? They could be ancestors of Dr. Julian Bashir.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. But yeah, this is gotta love good news.
Yeah, that is actually there's a couple good news from this last election. So that's just like the big one. That was the one that the most headlines were on, except for maybe Virginia flipping.
Yep.
So that
the rest of the way flipping.
Completely flipping.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're just gonna have to wait and see now.
Oh yeah.
It's a whole new ball game.
Yep. And a court in New York, federal court, struck down Trump's rules that would allow for anybody working in healthcare to discriminate against anybody on grounds of religion for any reason.
Yeah.
And be immune to punishment from their employer for not caring for their patients.
Ouch.
Yeah. That just lost in court.
Well, and people, the people who kind of were apathetic towards it say, yeah, but that wouldn't happen. It's like, well, it did happen. It has happened.
Yeah.
It's always happened. So yeah, you can't just sit by and just let them get away with it.
Yep.
So yeah, I'm glad that they struck that down. And in slightly related news, I think Trump is moving his residency to Florida now because New York has treated him so poorly.
Right, they're investigating his many, many crimes in that state.
Yeah, so run, Trump, run away.
So it sounds like he's not planning on ever stepping foot on New York soil after he gets out of office.
You'd be stupid too.
Granted, it wouldn't surprise me if when Trump leaves office that he hops on a Russian plane.
Or is black bagged and taken to Russia.
The other likely scenario would just be he gets handcuffed and hauled off, but more likely, I would say he flees the country.
No, I think I got it figured out. I was watching What We Do in the Shadows on Hulu, which is a great movie about vampires, an even better TV show. Oh my God, it's hilarious. And I think Trump is actually a familiar. He's not full vampire because he doesn't really, he has the strength of will to be, but he doesn't have the intelligence or the wisdom that like being an old vampire would get you. But he's really good at following orders of the master. And I think we all know who the master is here. But and I also think Putin is probably also Rasputin, who is a vampire.
What about Vandal Savage?
Well, Vandal Savage is imaginary, so, not really.
Yeah, but Rasputin still being alive would be as plausible as Vandal Savage.
I'm just saying, that's fiction. I mean, come on.
And the stories of Rasputin...
That's DC Universe. Nobody pays attention to DC Universe.
The stories of Rasputin are mostly fiction anyway.
Shh. No, I think it's hilarious.
All right.
How did I never put that together before? Rasputin and Putin.
Oh.
Come on. That's like a dead giveaway.
Yeah, I did pick up on the Vladimir the Great and now Vladimir Putin.
Oh, yeah.
Who is viewed as, one of the first would-be leaders of what would be Russia.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, 2 new studies looking at Orthodox Protestants in the Netherlands, which if you've been paying attention to Dustin Off the Degree, you know that Orthodox and Protestant are very different things.
Yep.
That doesn't mean people can't collect all of the buzzwords. And it was only a matter of time before we'd come across one of these, especially considering the fact that both the Roman Catholic Church, Eastern Orthodox Church, and Oriental Orthodox churches all claim to be the Catholic Orthodox Church.
Right. Because everybody believes that they're the one true God. Religion.
They all believe they're right, and as in correct, and they all believe that they are universal. Catholic meaning universal, Orthodox meaning correct. So this just means a group of Protestants who believe they're the Protestants who are actually correct, just like all others.
Yeah.
But anyway, they are also anti-vaxxers and live in the Netherlands. So they were studying what happened to children in this community before and after measles outbreaks. And what they discovered is measles basically wiped out the immune system's memory.
All of it?
Damn near.
That's terrifying.
Yeah.
That's Okay. So you're 6 and you get measles and you do manage to survive.
Mm-hmm.
All of your previous vaccinations.
It eliminated between 11 and 73% of antibodies.
11 on the not bad side. 73% being on the terrifying side. It's no wonder like people who survive measles have complications.
Yep. Like losing 75% of your immunity after you've reached school age. I wonder how many of those cases are, what percentage of deaths worldwide are actually because of something somebody got because they'd had the measles. And they got it again, tempted fate again.
And weren't lucky. Yeah, that would be interesting and also impossible to find out, but would be really, I don't want to know the answer.
No.
I'd rather just vaccinate and hope for the best.
So yeah, what they're finding, and they haven't actually figured out the exact mechanism of what's going on here.
Wait, so this group of anti-vaxxers found this?
No, scientists looking at this group of anti-vaxxers.
Oh, okay.
The ages of the children were all between 4 and 17, and they took samples from them both before and after a 2013 measles outbreak.
They're like, well, it's going to happen eventually, so we might as well get some baseline here.
They knew they were going to get hit because measles is still endemic in most of Europe. So they knew they were going to get it, and they were just waiting for it to hit that community, and then they took more samples. And they found that it both knocked out the diversity of naive cells as well as the memory cells.
Wow, those naive cells need to get wise on the world.
The memory cells are the ones that are important for actually producing antibodies. So they're the ones that when a pathogen enters your body, they're the ones that identify, oh, wait, I know how to kill this thing. And then they start pumping out antibodies that target it, or in some cases directly wipe out kill it. And in others just tag it for other immune cells to be able to destroy.
Macrophages.
And
not phages, that's fingers. Macrophages.
But the naive cells are just, they're basically just, they're the ones that are looking for
their place in the world.
What needs antibodies. Like they're the ones that they want to be memory cells, and
when they grow up, and
it wipes a bunch of them out too.
Okay. Well, oh God, think of the children.
Yeah.
Children's cells.
So yeah, measles, it's really bad and
worse than we thought.
Yeah.
Nice.
Mukillis, who, like most people in Indonesia, does not have a last name, just the one name.
Okay.
Is a member of the Aka Ulima Council. This is the council that advises the government on how to implement Sharia law, with Aka being the only province in Indonesia having Sharia law.
Okay.
And he got busted for adultery.
Isn't that against Sharia law?
Yep. He was caught in a car having sex with a married woman.
Oh, wow.
Which, according to Sharia law, it is not adultery for a married man to be having sex with somebody other than his wife or one of his wives. The adultery is the fact that he was having sex with
another man's
married woman.
Yeah.
Yes. So they both got lashes, like full-on caning. He got 28 lashes. She got 24 lashes. Oh. And his council that he's been on for a long time, are the ones who said that adultery needs to be punished by caning.
Yep.
He got his own punishment.
Got a taste of his own reward there. Yeah. And you know, it's going to happen because people who pass those kind of laws are mostly guilty of them. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of time before one of them gets caught.
Yeah. And, you know, I am not going to, as much as I want to just laugh about this,
caning's not really funny.
It's not funny at all.
It's a terrible punishment. It disfigures you. It's not cool.
They've used it just in terms of sex-related stuff. They've used it against people caught in adultery, including people who are going through divorces. They've used it on unmarried people they've caught having sex, or teens that were just cuddling. They've used it on lesbians that got found out. They've used it on gay men that got found out.
God, it's like all these people are just wanting to have sex. What is with them? Let's cane them all.
This is bullshit that in the 21st century this is happening. It's always been bullshit that it was a thing that happened, but there is no excuse now.
Yeah.
There's also no excuse for politicians to think that they're going to be able to get away with it when they do the thing that they're trying to stop from happening.
Yeah. I mean, benefit of the doubt, it was a moment of passion that got like carried away, but no, that doesn't happen as often as people who are predators and are self-righteous and abuse their power.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we flogged that one to death.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Except for now that joke doesn't make sense because we cut that other joke.
Yep. Unlike the rats who turned out like to drive.
Aw. This is such a good story.
Scientists figured out how to teach rats to drive.
Just, oh my God.
They built robotic cars.
Oh my God, little cars.
Where one wire was to turn left, one was to turn right, one was to go straight.
Just tiny little
And they
cars.
just had to touch a metal plate on the floor to make the connection and drive the car. And it didn't take long for them to learn how to drive it.
Little cars and little rats.
Now, it was to get food, so
I don't care.
It gave them the motivation, but even after they stopped providing the food reward, the rats would still drive the cars.
Riding around in my automobile.
And the amazing thing they found, they were less stressed.
They got the need for speed. Little RC cars. Oh, man.
Rats, like all placental mammals, have frickin' large brains in the grand scheme of things. Engage in play and don't like to be bored.
Or cooped up.
Yeah. So they, having enrichment activities, decrease stress levels, and learning to drive a car. And these decreased stress levels was both in the initial learning how to do it and then just being able to do it. It gave them something to do.
That's awesome. Vehicular rat slaughter, though. That's so sad.
Now, and fortunately, they didn't have to kill the rats to measure the stress levels.
No good.
They were measuring it from their feces, looking for cortisol.
Okay. Stress poops. Get those once in a while. We all do. Or not stress poops.
And
little rat rest stops.
But I'm pretty sure
little vending machine. It's like one piece of popcorn.
But I'm gonna guess the rats weren't, even though they're the prize when they were first learning might have been cheese. It probably wasn't Rogue River Blue.
No.
Which is now the winner of the 2019 World Cheese Awards. I know this has absolutely nothing to do with the topic of the podcast, and I don't give a fuck. American cheese has been shit on by the world forever. And not only was it a cheese from my country that won, it was a cheese from the valley I grew up in.
Yeah, that's Rogue River. That's awesome. What was the actual cheese company?
Rogue Creamery from Central Point, Oregon.
All right. Shout out to Central Point.
Yeah, just outside of Medford.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's about 35 miles from my parents' house.
So your parents are going to go get some, right?
It's $75 a thing.
Okay.
Brian
go get it.
Brian might get some.
Brian. No, Brian doesn't listen to this. But he's already taken care of the turkey. Sean, go get some.
But yeah, they were up against 3,804 entries.
That's random. 3,804
from 42 countries.
Okay. How do you even decide with that many cheese? After a while, don't they all kind of taste the same?
Well, the key thing would be finding something that doesn't and that best portrays what that cheese is supposed to be or is most interesting. Or I don't know how they judge cheese competitions.
Their terroir. Does it taste like cow shit?
But it was 260 judges total, representing 35 different countries. And yeah, they eventually chose
That's awesome.
Rogue River Blue.
Pacific Northwest, represent.
Second place was an Italian cheese that was 24-month aged. I'm not even going to try to pronounce it.
Do it. Do it.
Nazionale del Parmigiano Reggiano Latteria Sociale Santo Stefano.
That's amazing.
Third, that's a really long name for a cheese.
Is it all one word?
No.
Oh, darn.
No.
That's not German.
And third place was a raw ewe's milk from Spain. Torta del Cesar DOP Virgin del Prado. Del Prado.
Okay. It was raw milk?
Made from
or was
raw
it cheese?
ewe's milk.
It was a cheese made from raw virgin ewe. I got a virgin in there.
No, it wouldn't be a virgin to be producing milk.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, cheeses with those long names from Spain and Italy got topped out by Rogue River Blue.
That's beautiful. It's so Western, too. It's like just simple.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Good job.
That ends the news. There may be feedback, but I don't think there was. If you want to send us feedback, send us an email at contact@atheistnomads.com. Use the form on the website at atheistnomads.com/contact, or leave us a message via SpeakPipe.
Especially if you speak Italian.
And you want to correct my horrible pronunciation.
Oh my God, I love his horrible pronunciations. They're so funny.
That was my second take, but it was still pretty bad.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. It's hilarious, though.
It was really long, too.
Yeah, that's all part of the fun.
And we don't have any new patrons, but if you'd like to become a patron, you can find out how at atheistnomads.com/donate. You can either donate, or you can either support us on a per episode basis through Patreon, a monthly basis through pod.fan, or send us a one-time donation via PayPal.
Yeah.
I'm tired. Need to get this episode out.
Good night, y'all.
Night. Good day. Time appropriate. Farewell. And remember, not all those who wander are lost.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Atheist Nomads. You can find show notes and contact information at atheistnomads.com. Follow us on Twitter at Atheist Nomads, and like us on Facebook at facebook.com/Atheist Nomads. Please subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or your podcatcher of choice, and while you're there, feel free to leave us a review. Theme music is courtesy of Sturdy Fred. Until next time, this has been the Atheist Nomads.
Really?
No, I have my phone out. I'm uploading a video, new photo, because I'm updating they don't let you. Damn you! Fudging with the whales. Here. Okay, you can go.
It's going to be a well-lubricated Christmas.
Oh, yeah.